First off, I welcome the 2-year extension for existing planning permissions, but I have my concerns then around other parts of the bill, because we have a lot of people through COVID were unable to build their houses. Now with the lack of material, the excess price now in material, everything's on the rise. But we also have another issue, is that the people that were employed before COVID and had their mortgages approved are now going back to the banks and asking them for mortgages, and they're unemployed at the moment. So they're now starting back again, which is giving them a delay process. And some of these people are already 2 and 3 years and 4 years into their planning permission, which was a 5-year planning permission. Historically before, if you could not complete your house, you could extend your planning permission for 5 years and you could roll it over. Now with the 2040 plan, people now are panicking and they're trying to get planning permissions now in the rural areas, in towns, in the surrounding towns and villages in the areas. And they're not ready yet to go building, but they see in the future they might have partners, they might want to get married, they might be waiting, they might be saving up. But the clock is against them. And the 2 years doesn't go far enough. But on the other hand, we have people that are in development, are waiting on sites, that people are looking for local authority houses or private residential houses, are sitting on the site. So we have to have, I would believe, a case by case and let the county council decide who can get the extension and who can't, by what the particulars that they're putting in front of them. So we're going to have people that are here now are saving for their mortgages, and the first thing they'll have to do is they'll have to do 1 year of savings after coming out of the back of COVID. And they have to show this before they can actually apply for a mortgage. And then they've got to go through the process of trying to get a mortgage and then go through the process of building a house. Now, I'm self-employed all my life. I've been on the building since I was 15 years of age. And now I'm an employer myself. And I have seen the different changes in housing from the mid-90s upwards, or even the early 90s, upwards of all the changes that have taken place. But one change that is changing, and it's changing annually nearly now, is the cost of somebody having to build in a rural area where there are not any burden on the local authorities, there are not any burden on the Irish Water, they have their own water, they have their own storage tanks, but yet they're being charged in excess of between 5,000, 7,000 and 8,000 euros to build their own house on their own lands. And what do they get in return? Nothing. Down on the forms that they get out, that they are now contributing to the local library, the footpaths and the infrastructure in your area. But if you're living outside in an area where there is no footpaths, there is no library, we're lucky to have the shop in our local areas, because there is nothing being put into our infrastructure, but yet people in the rural areas are paying the most. We can see now from the carbon tax that's going to be added, is the persons that will pay most in this country is that 37% of the people from towns, villages and rural areas. Because why? They have no infrastructure and they've got to drive everywhere. So in the carbon emissions, they're paying the most. Should we not have some incentive now that the people are living in the towns, villages and rural areas that have had no investment in infrastructure should get a tax break? And the people that are living in the cities and taking all the funding should have to pay more. And let the people in the rural areas, the towns and the villages, get reimbursed through the taxes as an incentive to let them then get the proper infrastructures in their area. They are no burden on the state, but we're being charged hand over fist for everything we do. Bus charges to get our kids to school for the local bus, because there's no infrastructure. And now we're being charged by the local authorities, set out under environmental laws that are here in this country, for putting a septic tank and putting building sites. We now have to pay in excess of 5,000 euros and get nothing in return. Thank you.